Hey everyone, Pesmori here and welcome to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. I really hope by some miracle Gumshoe makes it here. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Why does he look so pissed? I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered the suicide note is a forgery. Wow. Okay. What? Hey, that was your idea. Why are you surprised? But to be fair, I'm also surprised. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It's a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If it was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impact never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about En Garde. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. En Garde could not have known that, so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that En Garde had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Huh? What do you mean? I hope this is right, by the way. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. En Garde to not have known it was a fake. What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor? Well, a small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera! Aw, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Phoenix Wright. Old enough to be called old by young people, but young enough to be called kids by old people. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. En Garde knew of the existence of this note, because he was spying on the victim, right? If that were true, then this means Mr. En Garde would have known that the note had forged the note. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake? And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Unguard's motive for murder was... It has suddenly disappeared to thin air. But Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Unguard monitored Mr. Kurita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Unguard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, bitch. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth? It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. You're not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Unguard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth's stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of person is this witness? Mr. Edgeworth? One who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists. Who can answer that question with such certainty? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? It is... Go on, who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shelley the killer. Oh, Mr. Shelley the killer. Wait! Shelley the killer? You mean... the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yeah? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? Can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it is really alright to do this. Very well then. The prosecution calls his witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. Okay, what? Ah, very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor, how come you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify in this court. But we're gonna do that shit anyway, right? So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do! I will not allow this in my court! First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some proof that you are, in fact, Shelley the killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. I'm going to break you like glass. I mean, what? That was nothing. Maya! A voice? Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objection to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the killer. It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida, is that correct? It is as you say, I did indeed kill Juan Corrida. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all a bad dream. Yes, that's it. It's a bad dream. Does it involve Dracula music and a giant-ass person for some reason? Shelley the killer. What's he gonna say? There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason why I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He always stands by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes. There's no way to know what's coming next. Stay cool and collected, Phoenix. You can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please tell us about your clients? I don't think you understand your place, bitch. I said that this is something I must state first. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry, go on. But it appears like this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about my situation. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that's why you're testifying in this manner. This is the first time one of my clients has been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yeah, that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough! Please, no more! Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You... Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things left to say before I do. This egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less comforting. I don't really care about all the extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Oh, wait, what? I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. The fuck did I do? You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone. Do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really? Really? In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Okay. What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness! What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. One Corrida? The person's name is... Adrian Andrews. What? Why are you surprised, Phoenix? What the fuck? You're the one who said, oh yeah, Miss Adrian Andrews hired the assassin to do this shit. and then when he said Adrian Andrews, you were surprised too? Okay then. But witness! That's not what you told me it was earlier. That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, who are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client and it was Miss Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that the killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with the court. Shut up, phone. Mr. the Killer told him a different name? guard, perhaps. Probably. I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. The witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelly the killer. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided the suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the killer's client, who requested the murder, was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matangard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a little bit of a confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you reach the verdict. Bailiff, please bring in Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, Angard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but the Edgeworth is right. The killer's lying. And Angard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelly the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me! Listen, everyone, please! That testimony just now, it was all bullshit! Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. That's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife, the button, donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... We even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impacts was a very large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurted her. Hurted her? Who hurt her? I gotta keep my eyes at the bottom of the screen, I swear. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No! Mr. Wright! You know the truth! Tell them! Tell them the real story! Who the real killer is! Tell them! Please! Help me! I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw away this chance and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Save! And continue the trial. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You're a lawyer. I know. But Matt Ungard is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than Ungard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Ungard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it till now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But... the witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur, please. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are, usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? Pretty sure that's not the only thing. As I already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that that Juan Corrida was dead. Okay. To be fair, why is she making that expression, okay? That's hot. That's hot. I mean, nothing. But even more appealing is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. Someone's calling. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, well, let's continue this. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. the most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness, as if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in the oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes 2 of us. Or maybe 3, I don't know. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, we're requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? I see you're also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No, that's not what I was thinking. Mr. Wright! Yeah? You want to kill me! You want me dead, don't you? What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor? Guilty! Mr. Phoenix Wright! You are hereby declared guilty! Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They're your client, are they not? I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah, well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one who does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And that fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. Are you talking about the knife and the button? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card always makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's extremely devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, this is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. So you're saying most clients won't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No. I already told you. I have no intention of using your services. Ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning? That is correct. From before my client visited the room, all my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Yeah, I know. So what do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around the scene of a crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who had requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up for you to take the fall. And that's all you have to testify? Yes, and I pray that I never again will be called to the stand. Again? As in you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the 4th successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? I'm sorry? No, I'm fine, really. Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I could do now is expose the lies. That's true, but you realize that will be very bad for our clients, right? I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for real is that I can't let this trial end yet. Whew, glad that was the real one, the answer. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea Juan Corrida had been murdered. How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. the Killer supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had already fainted. Which is why the glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? This is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what's your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the exact same thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't that a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you're mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yeah? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection about this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what you're up to, we're in real trouble. I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive that there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items Mr. the Killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies within those items. This request came to me about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met with your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. "1 week ago. Are you sure?" "Yes, I am quite sure. I of course had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you requested my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind." Please stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. Specific date and time. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are those suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there'll be a bear-shaped figurine in one Corito's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about the bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him in his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all. Correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where the bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? The testimony just now had made one thing clear. That is, the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. Oh shit. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by phone or mail. And why is that? It is because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking at them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright? Was it important? Yes. Of course, it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it is unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client was really Adrian Andrews? I guess. You see, it was just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck was I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, will the witness please continue? So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I already told you. I already did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. Oh, wait. That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client. It's true when what they say about talking face to face. Huh. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I got him! Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Really? You know, I was just like laying back and stuff. I was like, not really paying attention. Really? If that's the case, please include your testimony just now in the statement in your testimony. Very well. Haha, gotcha, bitch. I wonder if this works. Okay, it works. Gotcha. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy? How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the killer? You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one big slip-up about her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in real life, you'd think, wow, she's a bad bitch though. One look would have told you that she is a woman. This game was made quite a long time ago. Wait, what? Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what's the meaning of this? The witness testified the following. That he always meets face to face with his clients when he takes their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor. That's exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Adrian Andrews. Well, have you ever seen a transceiver sweat? Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has something to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name. I see. Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. So he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? the killer! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up the client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more bullshit. Very well. But this time, please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took the request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of one creator and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name and the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter? He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. Can't make him sus, but I think we're okay. Like we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Let's begin with the cross-examination. But didn't you say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. But there are some clients who, for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you mention your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not gonna work on me. Alrighty then. Cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such hard words? You're a lawyer! Behave more like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client? I'm sorry, but I do not have any proof. I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor. That is the nature of right and wrong. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail. What's email, bro? What? Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant to say was email. Email? In the contest of mimicry, the judge would be the parrot hands down. Why don't you call Polly down here and verify that? Anyway, so you took this job without meeting your client. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were those other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It would be really bad if I pushed this button the wrong way and got him mad. Whether or not they're related to the case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yeah? Everything I said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder, what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination? Could it be that you're planning to betray your own client? I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one... Wait! Boy, oh boy, this is looking really bad. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If that's truly what's important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find the figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was the figurine? It was inside Mr. Kurita's suitcase. And what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Please include what you stated in your testimony, as you wish. I found this figurine at Unguard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was he doing over there? I was waiting for her there. That's also part of the plan to frame Mr. Ungard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with the testimony? So you're saying you never saw your client's face, not even once? I did, once. It was when I went to give my client the figurine. Yeah, I see. But Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask? Yeah, the Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing. Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? One thing does sort of stick out to me, Your Honor. Witness, I think you most definitely saw your client's face. Let's recall Mr. Power's testimony. Okay. Okay. You received quite a large roll of cash from Mr. Ungard. And at the time, he was not wearing his Nickel Samurai mask. Order! Yes, now that you mention it, I do remember that. Witness! Yes, that night I did wander the floor as a bellboy. I received plenty of tips that night for carrying juice to the various rooms. Is that so wrong? Huh? The man who gave me a tip was not my client. He was probably just a generous person. I'm sorry, but sadly, we're not nearly so generous here. If I could receive large rolls of cash by bringing people things on trays, then fuck being a prosecutor. Oh, the deja vu. And isn't his salary more than enough for one man? And where is your evidence that a large roll of cash is in fact not a tip? Come on, Edgeworth, show me the money. What? Mr. Attorney. Yes? You know, I think your line of questioning has been a little strange. In fact, I would say that you don't seem to believe Miss Andrews is my client. Oh no, it's not like that at all. I just think lies aren't a good thing, you know. Oh, I know and agree. Eyes are not a good thing at all. I think we're on the same page now, aren't we, Attorney? Remember, if I feel threatened in any way, I'm free to cut contact at any time. I'm sorry, please forgive my foolishness. If only you were this apologetic at all the time. I do not see a huge contradiction here. Therefore, you may continue, witness. We've pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Seems like we're still okay to me. And that's exactly what's so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you know how serious of a situation that'll put us in. Yeah. All I could do is pray that those items reach us in time. Okay. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of the bear. Shelley the killer, if you really gave the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Yes, get out of here. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order! So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it was impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Order! Order! No, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. That's enough. If that is your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter I must attend to. No, please. That's not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... Yeah, Phoenix scream. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, what? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there was a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, she'll... Maya... the prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you're... The prosecution... rests. What's going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is the most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that's the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that the killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley, the killer's client, is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here right now, then your client will be declared innocent, and in his place, Adrian Andrews will be charged with murder. Miss Andrews will be charged with murder? The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the final defense's remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant Matt on guard to the stand. The items didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as truly innocent and good. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, you would appear you're innocent. Huh. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. On guard? What an atrocious lawyer I have. Giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap? It's all just as atrocious, don't you agree? Shut up, phone. Anyways, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged with murder. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on the matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client is innocent. Heh, there's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's gonna say what I want, aren't you? Right. Can't do this, but I have to decide. You can't count on evidence to help me anymore. I need to listen to my heart. My client, Matt on guard, is... We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt on guard, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt on guard is... Objection! Oh, hello. Francisco von Karma? Hello. The only time I'm glad to see you. You see, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces. Do you have them? should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence here is in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. But not the car. All the items are inside of this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for his ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what's inside this raggedy-ass coat. I'm sure that inside the coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of the trial. What? Your Honor, it's our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you're right. Mr. Edgeworth, I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are left behind by the killer during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. It's all we can hope for. The first item's a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with the case? Does that pistol have any relation to the case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so we can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with the case. At least with me. That's the pistol he used to shoot you, right? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullet they removed this from my shoulder as a sort of memento. Yeah, like at least you didn't leave it inside of you, right? You know? I'm sure this will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Franziska. It's probably not going to help us very much. The second piece of evidence is a videotape. I bet the killer took that from a guard's mansion. Have you checked the contents of the tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah, but I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. Ooh. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. Ooh. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There was even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. No doubt about it, he was wearing this on the night of the murder. One thing I found interesting about the uniform. What's that? a button missing on the uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That's all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what's that, Your Honor? I'm sure, were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelly the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. But our question is not who did the killing. It is who's the client. Yes, that's correct. And these 3 items could not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine the new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, huh? Is this the end? Phoenix! I knew it. There was no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2. The first. Make Angard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Angard himself wishes to be convicted, then he'll let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Angard. If the killer were to no longer think of Angard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duties towards his client above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you can make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through for the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Does she mean... You mean to turn things around? The judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We've all seen the pieces of evidence. And that is how we've come to see the truth. But there's one person who has yet to see them all. That person does not know the truth. That truth. It may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, right? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? Objection! I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying, it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then, who do you want to show that to? Oh, you want to show it to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try. One try. That's all I will permit. have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! What will I have in 500 years? Wrong thing. There must be a way to save Maya while taking on guard down at the same time. Now then, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show the evidence to? I see. And now, tell this court, what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person? Shut up, phone. Well, what do you think, Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to the witness. Bayleaf! Please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alrighty then. Looks like I managed to convince him. Whether it's correct, I don't know. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? It was sternly told by my client to not watch it. So I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you're on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted the camera? Well, the one person who could have placed the camera at the crime scene would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a time and place for you, right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt on guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this. There's only one reason your client would secretly film the crime scene. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you and this is what they said. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say about that, Shelly the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. This is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. This is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one very numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an attorney. Which rhymes with attorney. I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it. This is how we turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yeah? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. But I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I actually am sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to hand down a verdict. Where'd that smile go, huh? Mr. On guard. It looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You finally received the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy, man. You should feel refreshed. You know, like a spring breeze. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin might come for your ass. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watched this video. Help me! Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is that alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Oh, you're telling me. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape from him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. You know, to be honest, I really want him to be not guilty, so that he like, you know what? Let me just see what happens. Let me just see what happens. You know? Congratulations, Mr. Mad on Guard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty. Very well. The court finds the defendant Mad on Guard. Please wait! What's the matter? If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed. No! Oh shit. That was unsettling. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? What do you mean we? Nintendo we? Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard? I left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal with a whip leather right about now. good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. Guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. You were right there? But after that, when I was alone in the detention center, that's the first time I saw myself for who I really am, a criminal. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm gonna screenshot that and save it in my computer. That's just absolutely sweet. It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits. And that is good enough for me. Okay then. That is all. Court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. Oh my gosh, my hands are so sweaty. What I did out there was right? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? I understand now. Yeah. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices. And your answer? Your answer spoke of what being a lawyer means to you. Right. Edgeworth? I have good news. Maya's now safe in police custody. Oh my gosh. Really? Pearls? You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, she's quite safe. Quite. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Ah, Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya's safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Ow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. She grew up in the freaking mountains, man. Don't fuck with her. I believed in you! I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. Thanks. Oh. What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier. Thanks. Yahoo! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Shut up, phone. You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you're still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. Bro, she's like 6 years younger than you? Come on. How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner, and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit at the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that happened. So I left the prosecutor's office. Off of the whole shebang with the chief prosecutor and Nana Sky. But, you know. Not gonna mention that here, right? Right? And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. Huh. As well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself at defeat should crawl in a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity, everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use everything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we do so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do now is fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have, erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. You claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. That I promise you. The truth? Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already. Don't you, Wright? Yeah, sure. That's why you couldn't forgive me. The man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Like a fucking vampire. Ah! Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? I don't know. You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago, like a really long time ago. A really, really long time ago. And you betrayed your own words. To be fair, he was killed by a prosecutor, and then said prosecutor kind of adopted him, so you know. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. Oh yeah, the guardian or mentor also gaslighted him for years. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma? I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who's destined to be perfect, and shot in the shoulder. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. Neither are you. Oh, and neither am I. Okay, yeah. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? Why? Okay. Nick! Oh, hi, Maya. Maya! Mystic Maya! Yeah. Finally! Finally! Oh, Nick! I knew you'd come through! You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. Now on top of that, you even rescued me! Well, of course I did. You know I'd never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever, whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if it did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. That doesn't sound like a bad thing, honestly, but you know. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! Oh yeah! She doesn't... She like... Okay, yeah, she was like out of the loop for this one, really. I'm relieved. You're alright. Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Alrighty then. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub, chow, I'm starved! I'm so hungry even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please. If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joints? Don't be oh wait, it was Phoenix who said that. Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up an awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I decided we were gonna make it up by having another feast. Another feast. Come on, Nick. Food! You know what? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, fuck. Back here? Hey, pal. Oh. Sorry to kept you waiting, huh? Gumshoe! You alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. Didn't think I'd hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him? You did it again, city boy! I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks? Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Rat too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Come on now, everyone gather around. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta brought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Me? You really think so? He's right. Fair enough. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things. Huh? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. That was the 4th item? Come on, y'all, it's over! But oh boy, I tell ya, you're really something else. What is that 4th item? Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days! Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had a rough gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad, the coat pocket. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. It's funny nice to see them both smile again. Von Karma's here. What's that, Edgeworth? This thing is picking up something. That's Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience in my life, sir. Can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. Still have work to do. Huh? But Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything! And you eaten way too much, you glutton. You gotta let this one slide, man. Come on. I had fun tonight. Well, if you excuse me. Wait. What? I just wanted to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's any way to express how I feel. What? What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You. And her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly! Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say, thank you to Nick. Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation like that myself. This is camera shop at the hotel, you see. And I bought, what the fuck? I bought myself a good old beauty here. It'd better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? 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 Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it was on your tab and all. Huh? Isn't that great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick? Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is gonna be the first time we hear the real you. Come on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alrighty then, if you say so. How? Huh. Oh, it's you! Why? Huh? Well, that's quite unfortunate. How are you not arrested? Zimbabwe? Wait, what? Homepage? Oh. Homepage. Where are you going, Franziska? How did you know I was here? With this. That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy crab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage, but it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. Four things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what, and failure, such a thing is not an option for me. My father's a genius, there's no doubt about that, but me, I am no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one, I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have, and always will be. I'm not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave this to me. Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you'll think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. Can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, you chased after me after I left you behind all these years. And that's why we are standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Francisco von Karma. Huh. You know, I seen a meme where they compared this to Morty from Madagascar. I cannot unsee it ever. At least the remaster, made it look less goofy. I'm Francisco von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Why is she crying, though? Bye? See you next time. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cute. Huh. Does something happen now? I guess there is no episode 5. Okay. You know, I gotta say this, the second game's not as good as the first in some areas. It's 2 steps forward. It's too similar to the first game in some aspects. It felt like it was treading covered ground instead of walking a similar path, okay? It just feels like the Steel Samurai, but more significant to the story. And the whole thing about, case 1, tutorial, case 2, save Maya, case 3, filler case, concerning one of Maya's stars, case 4, where the good shit is. I wish there was the good shit in all the cases. Like in the first game, it built up to this case with Misty Faye. But the second game, I think it was building up to Edgeworth, but I felt like it should have built up to Edgeworth and Shelley or something else. That's just my opinion anyway. So yeah, second game, I feel like it's not as good as the first in some ways, I mean, objectively it's as good as the first game, but because it's the second game, the expectation is for it to be better than the first game. Which is quite sad. Because Adrian Andrews is very, good character. She had an arc in this chapter, in this case, which I liked. Matt Ungard didn't see that coming. Shelley the Killer. There's this interesting dynamic between Shelley the Killer and Matt Ungard. It's like Shelley is the killer, right? He is the assassin. Matt Ungard is the client. Shelley is very honorable. He values trust. But Matt is like, fuck all that. They're like 2 sides of the same coin. A coin which eventually broke, I guess. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take a short break from this game. I'm gonna probably play Sonic X Shadow Generations next, probably on stream or something, I don't know. Or some other game. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching with my playthrough of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 2. And after Sonic X Shadow Generations, maybe Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 3. What is it called? Trials and Tribulations. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 2. And if you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome for Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulation. Or if you're a Sonic fan, Sonic X Shadow Generations.